In recent months, Motley Crue have been involved in a legal battle with their former guitarist Mick Mars, who sued the band, accusing them of attempting to reduce his share in the business. And now in two separate interviews, we have Corabi, the former Motley Crue vocalist, reacting to the suit, as well as Nikki Sixx of Motley Crue, who was asked in a recent interview what was one of the funniest things he ever heard said about the band, and he cited Mick Mars' attorneys accusing Motley Crue of not performing their instruments live. He said to him that was one of the funniest things, throwing a little shade at the legal team there, obviously. Here is what went down. Before we continue, if you're new to Rockfeed and you'd like the latest news and updates about your favorite bands, be sure to hit the subscribe button with notifications on. And also, don't forget to enter to win the VIP Festival giveaway. One lucky winner will get 4 VIP weekend passes to the festival of their choosing. That means you could go see the Foo Fighters or you could go see Limp Bizkit. It's up to you if you win. I think you got some pretty good chances, so enter to win at the link in the description. So first up, Corabi is responding to this suit, which in many ways he predicted would happen back at the time of Mick Mars' announcement that he was going to be retiring. He had said that he didn't believe it until he had heard directly from Mick Mars, and he said that he wasn't actually able to get in touch with them, which made him skeptical. And now he is saying he's not at all surprised about any of this news of this legal battle between Mick Mars and Motley Crue. Here's more. In a brand new interview with the Sofa King Cool magazine, former Motley Crue frontman Corabi was asked if he was surprised by the public fighting going on between Motley Crue and their former guitarist Mick Mars. I caught a lot of flack for this, and to be honest, I don't really want to get into Mick's business or Motley's business. It's not my place. I don't know why. I caught some flack for this when I was in Europe. I was over there in November and December doing some acoustic shows, and I did a book signing in London. It was like a Q&A book signing thing, and a fan asked me about the press release that had just come out about Mick not touring with them on the rest of the tour. All I said was, that's a statement that's been prepared by Motley and their management. I haven't heard anything from Mick, and until Mick speaks, I have nothing to say about this, but I'm not necessarily agreeing with what I'm hearing. So to me, that was just something that was inevitable. It's unfortunate, but it was inevitable. So, c'est la vie. He was then asked if he's seen any of the recent Motley Crue performances with their new guitarist John 5. He said, I've seen a few videos. Honestly, dude, and I don't mean this as a slight or disrespect or anything to Motley, I don't care. I really don't. Right now, we had 3 years of COVID. I'm happy everybody's back to work. I'm happy Motley's back out on the road. I know their tour with Def Leppard here in the States was highly successful. I wish them nothing but the best. I wish Mick the best, but that's between them, man. He continued, it's hilarious. I've been out of Motley Crue for 25 years, and it's crazy. I get asked these questions, and obviously, if you're online at all, one of those websites will take a sentence that I say and just cut that out and run with the story for a week or two. But it's hilarious to me. All the comments, the fans get on there and just sit there and they go, man, doesn't that guy have anything better to talk about? He's still talking about Motley? He's still talking about Motley? Well, it's like, I didn't bring it up. Somebody else did. And truthfully, I'm just happy to be back to work myself. I've got a tour with Winger coming up, and then I'm back with the Daisies. And I'm just looking forward to getting my feet wet with the Daisies again and getting back out and having some fun playing some fucking music. So as far as Motley goes, and I don't want to be rude or anything, but it's like I really don't think about them. I don't care. I could give a shit less about what's going on in Motley Crue. I could care less. And now in a new conversation with Metro UK, bassist Nikki Sixx says that it's literally one of the funniest things he's ever heard that Motley Crue doesn't play their instruments live in response to Mick Mars' attorney making that allegation. Here's what he had to say. Motley Crue bassist Nikki Sixx was asked by UK's Metro if he could name the funniest thing he's read about the band over the years. He said, the silliest thing I've ever read about ourselves was from Mick Mars' attorneys. I'm just really sad at what's happened. They put out that the band doesn't play live. We're like, who is playing the bass then? It's literally one of the funniest things. Imagine being in a rock and roll band for 42 years, and some guy in a suit puts out that the band doesn't play. The silliest thing is, because of the way a lot of the media is these days, they don't cross-check. They just run with headlines, and we call it clickbait. That's about as silly as it gets. Motley Crue's longtime manager Alan Kovacs said shortly after news of the lawsuit broke to Variety that the allegations were part of a smear campaign. Quote, to gain leverage in a smear campaign on Motley. He's attacked the band, and he's done it in a slanderous way, with false accusations and misrepresenting the facts to the fans. Mick is not the victim. The victims are Motley Crue and the brand, which Mick is so prideful of. What's upsetting to me is not Mick, but his representatives, who have guided Mick to say and do harmful things to the brand he cares about so much, Motley Crue. He has a degenerative disease and people are taking advantage of him. It's called elder abuse. Mick's representatives have no idea what they've created. But I've stopped the band from speaking about this, so they're not going to turn the fans against Mick. But I am going to make sure that people understand that Mick hasn't been treated badly. In fact, he's been treated better than anyone else in the band, and they've carried him and they've saved his life. Motley Crue, of course, is currently out on the road touring in Europe with their friends in Def Leppard, and they've got their new guitarist John 5 with them out there on the road. For the latest tour dates, you can visit their website. That's your latest update from Rockfeed. Be sure to subscribe with notifications on for the latest news and updates about your favorite bands. You can also join the conversation over on the Rockfeed Instagram.